Alright you guys, back here with another video today, and today we're talking about flickering. Flickering generally occurs when you're dealing with a non-constant stream of electricity, so AC power or alternating current. And as the name alternating suggests, the power is fluctuating and cycling in such a way that is so much faster than the human eye can perceive, but not faster than that of our camera sensors. Now there are two main power frequencies you have to think about in the world, and two things that you have to consider. So one, the NTSC region is classified as North America, most of South America, and that's running at 60 hertz per second. And generally when you go to other parts of the world like Europe and everywhere else, it'll be classified as a power region in the 50 hertz per second. Now, whenever you buy your camera, it's going to be set up for whatever country that you bought it in. So if you bought it somewhere in New York, it's going to be set up for the NTSC region and a 60 hertz camera. If you buy something like in the Netherlands or Belgium, it's going to be set up for the 50 hertz or power region. The issue comes when you start mixing regions and you're traveling from one place to another, and you have to decide if you want to keep your frame rate or your shutter speed and that in sync with the power frequency of that region. Now there's a myth that says you have to have your frame rates in line to be able to get your camera to eliminate flickering. That's not entirely true because you don't have to have frame rate. You can have frame rate or shutter speed, either one. If you have one in line, then the other can be whatever it wants to be. So you can either go to New York to Belgium, like I mentioned earlier, and you can go from a 60 hertz region to a 50 hertz region and either change your camera system frequency to PAL mode, 50 hertz per second, or you can just simply change your shutter speed to 1/50 and you'll eliminate that flicker. Vice versa, if you go from somewhere like, I don't know, Amsterdam to Miami, and you go from that 50 hertz region in a PAL country to now a 60 hertz region in NTSC country, you can now switch your camera over to NTSC mode to satisfy the frequency of that region, or you can just simply change your shutter speed and shoot at 1/60th of a second shutter speed, breaking the 180-degree shutter rule. Either way, you'll be able to satisfy the frequency, you'll have yourself in sync with the power frequency of the region, and you'll be good to go and eliminate flicker. Now there are those random chances where you are using something like a Philips Hue light and you do have flicker in your image. No matter what you do, even if you have both things in alignment and have your system frequency in order. And what I've found is when I'm not using the regular RGB, red, green, and blue primary colors, when I'm using color combinations like maroon, teal, and gold, and so on and so forth, I'm still seeing varying levels of flicker, whether more or less depending on the hue. And when I'm using it, I then decided I had to use a variable shutter. I have to go to like 52.5 or 54.4 to be able to completely eliminate that flicker, which is not ideal, and it's not something that I could take the time to do in a run and gun situation or if I'm on set for something using some lights. The best alternative to be able to fix this is just use power that are built for cameras in general, so like strobe lights, speed lights, tube lights, anything that's directly battery powered inside of the light itself, so that way you can eliminate AC power altogether. Because when you use stuff that's directly battery powered and is plugged directly into the light itself, you have something that's called DC power and direct current, and that's something that's actually a true state of constant power, and you won't have to worry about the irregularities of stuff cycling on and off. You won't have to sync your shutter speed or your frame rate to that to match the country frequency, because it won't matter what country you're in, it won't matter what frequency you're in, because those things just go completely out the door. You don't have these issues going forward. And then at that point, you can use whatever shutter speed, whatever frame rate you like, and you can go past the limits of what the camera needs to be set at to align with the frequencies with alternating current. And you'll be able to have a lot more freedom, a lot more robustness, and you have a lot more control as well over your lights, because battery powered lights for cameras, you can change the hue, you can change the temperature, you can change the intensity, and so on and so forth. So these are considerations I have when I'm thinking about AC power, if I'm thinking about trying to eliminate flickering, or consider if I want to use that power in general. More often than not, I'll decide to just use DC power and go about my day. But these are some things that you should consider and things that you should take in mind when dealing with AC power and deciding whether you want to use it in your shoots coming up. So appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, please sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and tune back in for videos like this one and other ones in the future. But until next time, guys, peace.